Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It's Wednesday, and all of our guests today are brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, and ableauctions.ca. More on Able Auctions later. Whitecaps play in Houston today at LA to take on the Galaxy on Saturday, their next home match. Wednesday, the 25th, against TFC. Caps unbeaten in their last 3 MLS games. They're 6th place in the MLS West. Bob Lenarduzzi is the Whitecaps club liaison, Canadian Soccer Hall of Famer, Whitecaps, 86ers, Canada's national team, coaching, playing, you name it, he's done it. Is this his first time on our show?
It is, sadly.
What the heck's going on? Bob Lenarduzzi joins us now. Worth the wait. Thanks so much, Bob. Appreciate it. How are you?
My pleasure. I think it is the first time, but looking forward to it. There's a history there. Obviously, you, Donnie, from way back, but not as long for Dollywall, and but I look forward to it.
Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. Has it really been 45 years since the Vancouver Whitecaps won the 1979 Soccer Bowl? That can't be true.
It's true, and it's actually 50 years this year since we started in 1974 at Empire Stadium. Yeah, a lot of time has gone by, and throughout that time, a lot of peaks and valleys as well, where we had the heights of the Soccer Bowl in 79, and 5 years later we were folding, and 2 years after that, the 86ers started up. So we always found a way to ensure that soccer, professional soccer, was in the marketplace, and now it's not going away. The MLS is a league that's just growing and growing. 2026 World Cup is going to provide a real boost to the game as well.
How do you feel about that, Bob, as somebody who's lived in Vancouver all your life? The World Cup is coming to BC Place, coming to your hometown. How do you feel about that?
Well, I actually, there's when I was in 1966, the last time England won the World Cup, which most English people don't want to hear that because it's obviously a bone of contention. But I woke up to watch that game and was with my brothers, my family, and it was the best. I think it's one of the best finals ever. So 60 years later, in 2026, I'll be watching the World Cup live. And if someone had told me that way back then, I would have said, not much of a chance of that.
Bobby, still with that, the world is coming. It's going to be great. I mean, Vancouver's prepared. There's been some Christine Sinclair, packed BC Place. There's been some big crowds for soccer in the past 10 years. How excited are you that the world is coming to Vancouver?
Very excited, and it's actually the first World Cup that will go to 48 countries, up from the 32, which means there's going to be a lot more people coming to North America. And the thing that excites me the most is to envision what could happen in 2026. When I was watching the World Cup draw, the first game was slated for Toronto, and I was a little bit perturbed by that. Then found out that the next two would be here in Vancouver. And beyond that, and I do believe it's definitely possible, if we get out of the group stage, the next game will be here. And if we win that, the next game will be here. So I'm envisioning an Olympics type opportunity, because that'll take 2.5 weeks to get through. So you can just imagine the interest that would have been stimulated if, in fact, the team is that successful, and I do believe they can be. So it's a great time for the sport, and very optimistic about the group of players that we've got, and in particular, a great coach hire in Jesse Marsh. I think he's a coach that understands the North American market, and also has had success both in North America and in Europe.
All right, let's talk about your soccer team. Only 3 points out of second place in the Western Conference. Very tight Western Conference. Teams 2-7. I think only 4 points. You're on a 4-game unbeaten streak heading into Houston tonight. What's the team doing right of late?
Well, we're not conceding goals.
Yeah.
That's obviously a biggie in most team sports, and we're playing some very good soccer. The second goal against San Jose that ended up being the insurance goal was a thing of beauty.
Beautiful.
The build up to that
Yep.
goal, and then of course Armstrong is only on for 10 minutes, but he gets his first marker, and he's going to be a huge addition to the squad. The biggest problem we'll have with him is his lack of match fitness. Not fitness. I'm sure he's worked hard, but match fitness is something you need to play matches in to get. And on top of that, they have a 3-month-old, and between those two things, obviously it's been tough for him to get to the stage where we need him to be. But he's got a great pedigree, and again, that goal illustrated how to finish. He didn't try and hit it through the net. He picked a spot and put it in the top corner.
Let's stick with the Scottish players, Bob, if you don't mind. Ryan Gauld, the list of accolades continues to build for him in his time in Vancouver. What does he mean to the franchise?
I think he's a franchise player, and I mean, and it's fantastic that he actually finally got the call up to Scotland.
Yeah.
In a way, a little disappointing, because my hope had been that maybe we could get him to become a Canadian before 2026. But obviously, that's done now. But he does everything. He creates goals, he scores goals, and equally important, he's the hardest working player we have in our team. So it's not often you get your best player understanding that it's not just about going forward, it's about doing your job defensively, and he does that. On top of all of that, he's a great guy. And so when you talk about a designated player, yeah, he is the definition of that. And on top of that, we've got Andreas Kubas as well, who quietly gets about his work and is probably one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. And now we've added Armstrong, who will need to acclimatize to what he's come to. But his pedigree definitely suggests that, in terms of DPs, we'll have 3 very good ones.
I'm looking at your birth date here, Bob. Has Jesse Marsh called you to suit up for Canada in 2026? You're looking great, buddy.
Oh, you look like you're 35.
Thank you, guys, and that's very kind of you. And I actually had a great meeting with Jesse, and we know each other from the past. And I was very excited when I found out he was the head coach. But probably the best part of being on this show was, your compliment, and that's nice to hear. Don't feel like it. The 2 new hips are helping.
Ooh.
But, yeah, but all good.
You get 2 for 1?
No, I stretched them out over 10 years.
Well, we're not far behind you, Bob. Thanks so much. It's been too long, and we'll get you back on the show. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys. Good luck.
You bet.